What's up YouTube, Capital G here, looking at some new Destiny heroes that have been revealed in the newest August edition of the V-Jump over in Japan. This was, to me, a foregone conclusion that Destiny heroes were going to be getting more support the second that they announced that Edo or Aster Phoenix was going to be returning to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime and manga. The second that they said this dude is coming to Arc V, I was like, okay, well, we're definitely going to get some more Destiny support, and I haven't gotten to that part of the anime yet, but I assume that he would get a couple of fusions because he's from GX. GX was kind of like the fusion era, and I believe that he's in the fusion dimension. I'm not going to go too deep into like the spoilers or whatnot, but basically everybody from the fusion dimension, whether it be Selena or like Sora, Yuri, they all basically use fusion decks, Predator Plants, Fluffles, like Lunar Lights, etc., etc. So it makes sense for him to get some new fusion cards as well as some new Destiny heroes. Now, I don't know if they're going to work with the old Destiny heroes. That is yet to be seen, and why they've only revealed one fusion so far. I'm pretty sure that there should be more because back in the day, you know, we have the old Destiny in Dragon, but that wasn't the easiest card to summon. And if you look at like Jade and Yuki, I mean, that dude had about 1 trillion different fusions, and you know, Destiny heroes have been maybe some of you guys didn't play during the GX era or the beginning of the 5Ds. Destiny heroes were one of the most iconic archetypes ever. I mean, they made a huge impact on the game. They dominated the GX era and pretty much like the opening parts of the 5Ds era too, because, you know, like Teledad was really half like a Destiny hero deck, you know what I mean? Destiny hero with psychics and, you know, stuff like that. And I think it just makes sense, you know, if you're going to bring a character back from, you know, a very popular anime, like give them a whole bunch of new cards. So let's look at the new Destiny heroes. This up is, or this first card is Destiny hero Dystopia guy. Okay, it's dark. I expect all the Destiny heroes to be dark because Destiny hero is a dark archetype. Level 8 Dark Warrior fusion effect monster. Okay, 2800 attack, 2400 defense. Stat line's pretty legit. It requires 2 Destiny hero monsters to summon. I'm down with that. The fact that you can use anything in the archetype to summon it, okay, I'm already down with that. Malicious for the win. You can use each effect of Dystopia Guy once per turn. Effect number 1, when this card is special summon, target 1 level 4 or lower D hero monster in your graveyard. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack. Okay, nice little burn damage. Not bad, not bad. Level 4 or lower D heroes didn't have the greatest attacks. Things like Fearmonger and Defender, they weren't like, you know, even Disc Commander. A lot of them had like 800 or lower, but, you know, there are some new level 4 or lower D heroes. Effect number 2, during either player's turn, if this card's attack is different from its original attack, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy that card, then this card's attack becomes equal to its original attack. You know, it's kind of weird because that effect is like, it's kind of like the opposite of Ragnar Zero. Ragnar Zero blows up anything that original attack changes. This guy, anytime his original attack changes, he blows something else up. So it's kind of like a reverse of something like Ragnar Zero. Now, I don't know if there's going to be ways, you would have to imagine there should be ways of triggering that effect, like in the archetype built in, right? Like there should be some ways of changing this guy's stat line so that you can use the effect, because you can't rely on your opponent to do it unless you're going to run like Forbidden Lance or something like that. Next up is D-Fusion. I'll just be very, very blunt about this. I was very disappointed in this card. D-Fusion, which is already the name of another card. The artwork looks pretty cool. Kind of reminds you of things like Brilliant Fusion and Shadow Fusion or Gem Knight Fusion, etc., etc., and even Red Eyes Fusion. It's a normal trap card. It says, if you fusion summon with this card's effect, you cannot use monsters as fusion materials except for Destiny hero monsters. So you're only going to be using this with D heroes. You don't try splashing this in any other deck unless you're running D heroes in that deck. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion materials. A monster that was special summoned by this effect cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn. Okay, so people will immediately say, oh, Cap, you can use it during the battle phase. That's cool. Or during your opponent's turn, which is really never relevant. But using it during the battle phase is actually relevant. Maybe that's the reason why El Shaddai Construct, or excuse me, not Construct, why El Shaddai Fusion ended up getting limited. Here's why I don't like this card. For one, who the freak wants to fusion summon with traps? I'm sorry, it seems way too slow. If I'm going first, I obviously can't even use the card. Even going second, like it takes me a long time to be able to use this card. Like I'm gonna have to wait until like turn 2, turn 3 to ever even, for this card to ever be live. And honestly, I don't like the fact that you can only fusion summon with monsters you control. That means that you probably like you're probably never going to be able to summon like Destiny and Dragon with this. I mean, if you have Plasma and Dogma on the field at the same time, like more fucking power to you. I don't know how you did that, but you know what I mean? I don't like the fact that you can't fusion summon from the hand. And I think that we as duelists over the last couple of years, because Konami has pushed so many fusion decks on us, we've been conditioned to not only, you know, fuse from our hands, but we've been conditioned to fuse from our decks. I mean, look at things like Brilliant Fusion, that fuses from the deck, or Red Eyes Fusion, same deal, Shadow Fusion. You know what I mean? They're releasing these fusion spells that have been adjusted to power creep, let us fuse from the freaking deck. In addition, you look at a deck like Ritual Beast where, I mean, they fuse too, but it's all contact fusing for the most part outside of bonds. So when I look at this card, I'm just like, okay, this isn't better than any of the fusion cards that I just named. It's not better than Gem Knight Fusion, where even though Gem Knights are fucking a 5Ds archetype, they can use Gem Knight Fusion. Like, I do it all the time. I use that card like sometimes 4 or 5 times in one turn. I just don't think that this card is nearly as good as any fusion card that we've gotten in like the last 2 years. It's not as good as Fright for Fusion. It's not as good as pretty much anything I can think of. So not a big fan of this card at all. Next up, we have D-Hero Drill Guy. Level 4 Dark Warrior. Okay, so this is some of the new 4s that will be used with Dystopia Guy. 1600 attack, 1200 defense. You can only use the one effect once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon from your hand one D-Hero monster whose attack is equal or less to this card's attack. This card also does piercing damage. Piercing damage on the 1600, it's kind of meh. It's kind of like a watered down version of like Marauding Captain, I guess. It doesn't special any, or kind of like Goblinberg-ish type of monster. It doesn't special summon everything, and it only works with D-Heroes too. We have D-Hero Decision Guy. This is almost the same stat line. It's 1600, 1000 instead of 1600, 1200. You can only use the 1 and 3 effects once per turn respectively. When this card is normal or special summon, you can activate this effect during the end phase. Add one hero monster from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, this I already like. It basically is a +1. Number 2, it does not specify Destiny heroes, so it can get masked and elemental heroes as well. Effect number 2. This card cannot be targeted for an attack by your opponent's level 5 or higher monsters. Okay, got a little bit of synchro hate there, maybe even some fusion hate. Effect number 3, if this card is in your graveyard, when an effect activated that would inflict damage to you, you can return this card to your hand, and if you do, damage you take becomes 0. Wow, that third effect is pretty damn good. It's a shame we don't have more like, you know, burn damage effects in the game, but that seems incredibly good. That's another +1, and it negates burn. It's crazy because this could almost become like a counter burn card, to be completely honest. And yeah, you know what? This can actually add another copy. Like, Decision Guy can search or can add another copy of Decision Guy from the graveyard. So this could almost be like an anti-burn card. That's the funny thing. All right, next up we have Dynamite Guy. This is a level 5 Dark Warrior. 1000 is a stat line. D-Heroes have never been about the stats, by the way. Like, you can go back to the old GX ones. Stat line on things like Malicious, Fearmonger, Disc Commander, they've never been good. Disc Commander got banned for a reason, though, and it only had, I think, like, what, 300 attack or like 100 attack, something like that. It was really low. During damage calculation of a battle involving a monster, you can discard this card. Damage you take from that attack becomes 0, then inflict 1000 damage to both players. Okay. Effect number 2, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Destiny Hero monster you control until the end of your opponent's next turn. That card gains 1000 attack. This card's actually really good too. I like it because it's not really a +1, but I mean, it's a battle phase trick. You can use it during the damage step, and then also you can block damage that you take from another big monster. Although both of you, I mean, you'll end up taking 1000. You do it to your opponent, so technically this can kill your opponent. Like, this burn effect, this can actually kill your opponent. This was actually not that bad. And also, if you see, if Defusion would have fused from the hand, this card would have been really good, because then you would have just been able to fuse with it from the hand and then use the second effect during that same turn. Next up, we have Destiny Hero Dark Angel. A lot of people have said that this card is really good. It's kind of hard for me to contextualize how good this card could be. It's called Destiny Hero Dark Angel, level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense. Now, this effect is unconfirmed, so, you know, take it for, I guess, or take it as a grain of salt. We'll just say that. It says, number 1, if there are 3 or more Destiny Hero monsters in your graveyard, you can discard this card. Then target 1 Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard. Special summon that monster to your opponent's side of the field in defense position. Effect number 2. If an effect is activated, or excuse me, if a spell card is activated, negate its effects and destroy it. Okay, so you basically summon it to your opponent's side of the field, and then if they try to activate any spell card, you just negate them, and it's not once per turn either, so essentially until they get it off the field, they can't play spells. Effect number 3, during your standby phase, you can banish this card and 1 D hero monster from your graveyard. Both players choose 1 normal spell card from their decks and place them on top of their decks. That's pretty powerful. Your opponent does get that spell card too, but being able to put any card, like any normal spell on top of your, it has to be a normal spell, excuse me. Being able to put any normal spell on top of your deck, it's pretty powerful, man. Can you say Regeki? Can you say Destiny Draw? Can you say Diamond Dude, stack your deck and then, you know, use Diamond Dude's effect and rip that D draw off the top of your deck and draw 2? That used to be so fun in DDD, or DDT. I said DDD, that's a totally different thing. And then the other cards are something completely different. These are Abyss Actors. Those are Satowari's archetype. For some reason, he gave up like Yosenju for the archetype. Don't ask me why, but that's kind of like a look at the Destiny heroes. I would say right now, I really like their fusion a lot. I think this card's pretty good. I am massively disappointed with Diffusion. I really hope they get a spell. What they need, if they want Destiny Heroes to be any like semblance of competitive, if they don't want them to be another Melodious, they need to give them a spell card that's just really, really good. They need to give them something on the lines of Gem Knight Fusion, something you can use 4 and 5 times in a turn. Or, you know, if they're not going to do that, then give them something like the Shadow Fusion, you know, something like Brilliant Fusion, something that lets you fuse from the deck. Like, that would be really good, because then it's like, you know, it's adjusted to power creep. It can hang with these new age decks, because right now these guys are underpowered. And just to speak on Elemental Hero Stratos for a second, I do think that there is a very legitimate chance that Stratos is going to be unbanned. Now, I know that some people might think, oh, well, if they didn't unban Stratos for the Mass Hero structure deck, why would they do it now? The difference is, this is a main character in the show. Well, I don't know about main character, but, you know, Aster is going to be in the TV show. So I think it's a little more important. And come on, Konami knows how relevant that Stratos would be in a Destiny Hero deck. Like, you're going to play Stratos in every Elemental Hero or Destiny Hero deck forever. Same thing goes with Mass Heroes. The only problem is Stratos is banned right now. So I think that there is a very legitimate chance that when these come to the TCG, Stratos will be legal. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching as always.